This is the screencast for Lesson 38 in Stephen's C# 24-hour trainer. This lesson is about Link to SQL, so for this try it we're going to modify a Link to SQL program. We're going to add a query to this Find Customers application to search for customers that have missing data. Here's the Find Customers application. The only change I've made to the version you can download is I've added this list box at the bottom and a label to describe it. So what we need to do is in the form's load event handler add code similar to these queries to create the new query. That's fairly straightforward. In fact, it's very similar to the existing queries. So first let's add a comment, list customers with missing data. Let's define our query. I'm going to call this missing data query equals from customer cust in db.customers. So we're going to be looping through all the rows in the customers table where, and here's where the difference comes in, we need to select customers that have missing data. So I'm going to say cust.firstName equals a missing string. The string properties here are going to be coming in. They're not going to be null because these are strings and they're required in the database, so they can't have null values. However, they could have empty values. So we need to look for that. So if cust.firstName is blank, or cust.lastName is blank, or cust.balance is null. Now the balance and due date fields could have values in them, or they may have this special null value, which means there is no value. So for a given customer, they might have a balance of 0. That's not no balance, that's 0. They may have a positive balance, they may have a negative balance, or they could have the special value null. So that's what we need to look for. Cust.dueDate also could be null. All right, so if any of those conditions are true, then we want to select this customer. So what are we going to select? Well, I'm going to select the same thing we've been selecting for these others. This concatenation of first name, last name, balance, and due date. And then finally we need to display the results. So missing data listbox.data source equals the results of this query. So let's run the program and see if it works. Hopefully that much will work. And it did. Here we can see this customer has no first or last name, this customer has no first name, this one has no balance or due date, and this one has no last name. So all of those were pulled into this missing data list box. You can also find some of them in the other list boxes depending on how their queries were written. For example, all customers gets everyone, so there's that one, and these two, which are all missing data. Owes more than $50 didn't pick up anyone because null values are not greater than or less than or equal to 50. They're not values at all, so you can't compare them to an actual value. If you wanted this query to pick out people with null balances, you'd have to explicitly look for that. Similarly with the negative balances. A null balance is not positive or negative or 0. The overdue account, that query, however, we did explicitly look for null values in the due date and the balance, so it did pick up Harry Hartman. It didn't pick up these others over here because they do have balances and due dates. Now, I want to show you one more thing in here, and it's kind of advanced, so if you're already overwhelmed, stop the screencast now and come back to it later when you're feeling more relaxed. This is, as I say, it's pretty advanced technique, so I don't want to make you think this is mandatory, but it's also extremely useful. The reason I've been selecting this bizarre select string.format of whatever here is because the cust object was created by Link to SQL. It wasn't created by us, so we did not override its toString method. So if I select cust, the customer object itself, let's find out what happens. Now it's going to complain. What did I do wrong? I must have a typo in here. Oh yeah, extra parenthesis. All right, so let's just select the customer, and you can see the default toString method returns findCustomers.customer. That's not very useful. So what we would have done in the past is override the toString method to make it display something more meaningful. Well, we didn't write the code for this class, and we don't want to mess with it. It's in here in customerclasses.designer.cs. And if you search through, you'll find it here, public partial class customer, and there's a bunch of junk in here. And here's the first name and last name backing variables, and it's got property methods and so on. So that's the class that Link to SQL built for us. We don't want to modify any code in this file because if Link2SQL ever needs to rebuild the class, it'll throw away any changes we made. So that's not a good option. However, there's a special keyword here, partial, which I haven't talked about. A partial class means this is part of the definition of the class, but you can add other pieces to it somewhere else, maybe in a different file. And that's our way out. So what we can do is we can create more pieces for the customer class, and in there we can override the toString method. So just to make sure we know where we're going to do this, let's go up to the top of the file, and we see here that it is in the namespace find customers that this class is defined. So we need to be sure we're in that namespace. Of course, everything we're doing is in that namespace because that's this project's default namespace, so that's not a hard requirement. If we go up to the top of this file, form1.cs, we can see it's also in this namespace. Now you could add the class here, but it's, the addition here, but it's probably better to go and create a new class file. And I'm going to call this customer toString. Now this created a customer toString class. That's not quite what I want. What I really want is, I'm going to say public partial class customer. Notice that we're inside the find customers namespace, so that's okay. And what I'm going to do here is add the new method. So it's going to be public override toString, and instead of returning the base class's toString method, I'm going to concatenate the fields that I want to display. And just so we can see a difference from the other values, I'm only going to return the first and last name here, I think. So I'm going to return this customer's first name and this customer's last name. That's all. And if you really wanted this to look like the others, you'd also add in the balance and due date. So let's run the program again. And now you can see down here in the missing data, we've got first name with a null last name. This one has first and last name, null first name, but a real last name, and this one's missing both first and last names. So as I say, this is a kind of advanced technique, but it is useful under some circumstances.